TheSmartLocal.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Fauzi and welcome to a brand new episode of Word on the Street. Singapore is known for being one of the most expensive countries to own a car in. So I'm taking the streets to find out from young Singaporeans if they still think that a driving license is necessary. Alright, first question. Do you think living in Singapore is expensive?
I'm currently living in Australia, so Singapore is definitely cheaper.
I wouldn't say it's as expensive.
It's higher, but like in terms of a developed country, it's still relatively okay.
What are some of the luxury items you think Singaporeans always aspire to have?
Expensive cars,
Ferrari.
big houses,
Watches.
expensive handbags.
More of like material goods, like brand naming and all, and I think it's more of to show how much you've achieved.
Do you want to own your own car?
I mean, it would be good. Like taking the public transport every day is a chore.
I want to be able to just be cool and drive around. Not really. In all honesty, now we just enjoy driving because our parents do it all for us.
I think like the transport system in Singapore is fine already.
Having to have a car is very expensive, and having to maintain a car is very hard.
Do you both own a driving license?
I'm trying.
No,
Okay.
not yet. I think it's very hard for me to like multitask between studying and getting a license.
Getting it I was persuaded by my dad.
Do you want to get your driving license?
Yes, actually. It's a skill that someone can have just in case somebody gets drunk, they can like drive for them.
I'll be the driver.
I mean, it's good to have, but it's so expensive in Singapore, you can't really afford it.
What are some factors you need to consider before you decide to get a driving license?
Money, because it is expensive to get your license.
Even though you have a license, you still need to get a car.
Time, money, family, friends, and games.
I think one would be whether you would use it. I mean, like we explained earlier,
Right.
you got like the whole MRT and bus here and all that, right? And you know, sometimes with traffic jams and all that, it's not really like a good option to get a car, so you know?
Do you think it's practical for Singaporeans to own cars?
Singapore is a really small country, and I think public transport is pretty convenient.
It really depends on how much you earn. So if you can afford a car, why not? I'm guessing the whole of Singapore can't take public transport together.
I think it depends on what you use the car for.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what would you use a car for?
It kind of caught me off guard on that.
It's faster. Not when there's like so many cars and everybody just jam there for like 5 hours. Then you have to get a life together and wake up earlier. Actually, it's not like the most important thing compared to things like housing and stuff.
I mean, they're spending so much money trying to improve our public transport that we should at least give it a chance instead of focusing on just getting cars.
If, for example, you don't have a driving license, what are our other options?
Bicycles?
Uber, I love Uber. I think it's very convenient. Like I can just call it and then it'll come below my house and then it will like take me anywhere.
Grab car. I think they are cheap because you already know like how much you have to pay before you take your ride.
Scooter, hoverboard, Uber, Grab car, taxi, your uncle's car, your auntie's car.
Bus 11.
Bus 11, where does it go to?
Everywhere I want it to go.
I'm sorry, what?
Because it's my two legs.
Then, in that case, why do you need a license, right?
I think it's just good to have one just in case.
But you can go wherever you want. You can stop here, stop there.
You mean you can't do that in Uber? You can just tell them like, I want to go here first and you get another one and get someone else, right?
Later the uncle angry, then whack me out.
You should have the option down there, as in like, because we talked about like Uber and all that, and I think it's good when you have the option to become a driver as well.
I feel like it's always important whichever part of the world you are. I think it's necessary, like in case there's an emergency.
Do you think there's a stigma that boys should be the ones driving and girls shouldn't?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Well, I'm a terrible driver, so
I think there is to a certain extent. Guys sort of like have the expectation of like the provider role.
I would say no. As shown in Fast and Furious 7, where the girl can drive their car so fast.
No, I don't think so. Like, but obviously boys believe that girls can't drive.
I wouldn't think that there is a stigma lah. Like, girls can drive as well as guys.
Any last words for people out there watching this video and they're like thinking, should I or should I not get my driving license?
Should get a driver, especially girls. Like, don't get intimidated.
Just be careful before you take your test and think about it 10 times. Don't be like me.
Eat food and get your driving license.
How are they related?
You get energy from food, then you can get your driving license.
focus on what you need first.
It will be if you have the time if you have the money, then yeah, go for it.
Well, it was very interesting talking to people about cars and driving licenses in Singapore. On one hand, a lot of people agreed that driving in Singapore is very expensive, but on the other hand, a lot of people thought that having a license is a skill that is necessary for the future. That's it for this episode of Word on the Street. To watch all other videos, you can click over here. And as always, you can like, share and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Fauzi. Goodbye!